aka Nisha the Voice, live with Isis Harris. It is a pleasure to have you on the show tonight with us. You guys, she's a vegan entrepreneur, producer, also movie star, momager, all of that loaded into one. I can't express how excited I am to get into this conversation tonight with you. She is a proud graduate of Howard University. So yeah, definitely a pleasure to have you on tonight. And first things first, to get into the conversation, I know that you have been surrounded in the hip hop world for a long time, and then also in the wellness arena. So I want to start on the wellness side first, and then we'll talk about hip hop in a little bit. But on the wellness side, growing up, with the health guru, and I know that you're vegan, and everyone is talking about vegan, how that lifestyle is such a wonderful lifestyle. So, can you tell me a little bit about the vegan lifestyle and how you started your journey?
Well, first, I want to say it's a pleasure to be here with you
Yes.
tonight. I'm loving the energy, loving the vibe, and thank you for having me on the show. Thank you, Ben, Lawrence,
Yes.
hooking us up, bringing us together. But yeah, I mean, it's amazing. Like, I'm so excited that like this whole vegan conscious music movement has really like exploded. You know what I mean? So for me, I was born as a vegetarian. I was birthed to two, I wouldn't call them hippies because, uh, but they were conscious people in the 70s, conscious love people in love. And they both worked in corporate, and they both got tired of those lifestyles and decided that there was a better way, and the new age movement appealed to them. So at the time, I'm from New York City, I'm from Harlem, and the conscious music the conscious music starting there. So they were part of a store called the Tree of Life bookstore. So that's where everybody was getting their knowledge from. And my parents then also decided to open one of the first health food stores in Harlem. So of course, they weren't giving me any meat or anything like that. So I grew up in that, but it was really hard, being in the 80s and 90s and just being the only one who's a vegetarian, and the questions, and sometimes not getting invited to certain things because people are like, what are you going to eat? What do you eat? Are you going to die? Like if you touch, whatever. So it was just a lot of misconceptions. I was a kid, we would have birthday parties at McDonald's, and my mom would have a veggie burger in the bag and just like ask for a bun and put my veggie burger so I wouldn't feel different. But now it's like overwhelming. I can go to a restaurant and there's an entire menu like that's vegan and options. So I'm used to being able to piece my meal together. But now it's great to be able to have choices and stuff like that. So
Yeah, definitely, definitely. I think, like you said, the vegan lifestyle has kind of really taken over. Back in the day in restaurants, they really didn't have a vegan side, where you could actually, you could look at the menu and choose something that was vegan. So it's like you said, vegetarian. So
salad.
right, just a salad, yeah, pretty much so. And you would have to basically alter your meal, if you were vegetarian, etc. So now it's like everyone is trying to really live healthier, especially during this pandemic. You see a lot of individuals now that are coming out with so many different things in regards to living a healthier lifestyle. So as you stated, you grew up in that, so I guess for some it would seem that it would be easy for you, but like you said, it was hard.
Yeah, it was very, very hard. But I mean, and then for me, like I never was a person who wanted to push my lifestyle on anybody else. I kind of was in secret almost because it just always was such a big conversation. And being that it wasn't my initial choice, it was just something I just was kind of passed on. So I wouldn't want to tell people that I'm a vegetarian or whatever. I didn't want to make people feel awkward or anything. But now it's like I'm ecstatic to have all these years of it that I can help people in their journeys. Trying to figure out what to do, trying to figure out how's the best way to do it. You're not going to die. You'll be all right. You know what I mean? Here I am, 42, almost 42 years of veganism. And, I've made it. I'm okay. I get my protein levels are fine. I'm good. So,
Yeah, so I mean, in wonderful, beautiful for 42. Keep rocking it, honey. Keep rocking it. What is probably maybe some of the craziest questions that you have been asked in regards to your lifestyle?
As far as veganism, mostly like, do you get enough protein? Like, are you anemic? Oh, your kids are gonna die. Well, no, I have a 19-year-old son. He's strong. He plays basketball. He builds muscle. I have a 12-year-old who's bigger than a lot of 12-year-olds in this class and has always been on point. So mostly growth things. People just always want to know, um, even my husband, well, my partner, he's always like, well, vegans are always like so laid back and they don't have any energy and everything. I said, well, I don't know about that, because I've always been an Energizer bunny, so that's not me. But I guess everybody's different, so you kind of have to do what's right for you. I say everything in moderation. Veganism is not for everybody, and some people feel like they need meat for some reason. I'm not sure. I'm not the all same be all. I feel like you got to do what's right for your body and what makes you feel good. And I know when I first started, I was vegetarian for years, and then I grew into veganism, and I noticed even with my children, I've introduced them to I'm sorry, my daughter. I introduced them as vegetarians, but they my two sons, they have made themselves vegan over time because they don't like how eggs or milk or cheese makes them feel. So they naturally became vegans. And my daughter, actually, I don't know what you call her, because she's decided that she likes crab legs and so, but then she's a vegan though, so I don't know. I guess she's pescatarian, but I'm letting her feel it out because I don't want to put her in a box and say, no, this is wrong, this is wrong. I want her to know her body and know what feels good for her. So that's been the journey that I've been with my children.
Yeah. I mean, I like that because allowing the children to basically make that decision on their own, that they want to be vegan. I think that's great. For them to, like you said, for her to know, especially for your daughter, for her to know her body and to make that decision on her own. I think that's wonderful. And boys, most boys, you don't find a lot of boys that are vegan.
Yeah.
So that's very interesting.
They get
That's
bullied
wonderful.
out of it. I know. I had a cousin who was vegan. My whole family, we grew up vegan. So he was vegan until he was 18, and he joined the army. And that day, he went and had a steak. The first day in the army, but he's decided he likes meat. So you know what I mean. He did his 18 years, and now he eats alligator and all that. We just look at him like, wow, really? So
Oh, that's wonderful. So venturing into the entrepreneurship. So I know you are an entrepreneur. So how did you start the journey being an entrepreneur? So I know you do wellness and also with real estate. So what was the decision to basically just, say, hey, I'm just going to be an entrepreneur? And you're engineering major too. So I know homegirl's good with mathematics. So
yeah. It started with my parents. I mean, I'm very grateful. I had amazing parents who, they really instilled a lot of great things in me, especially with entrepreneurship. My father was always an entrepreneur, and I saw how he lived and how he made his money, and and how he was able to support his family. My mom, she was always an entrepreneur, but she always kept a job too, because I'm into astrology, so she always liked that. every month money, and then she like her own money on the side too. So my mom always kept either whether it was a wellness shop or a boutique, or she was selling furs, or she was selling some, multi-level marketing. So I got that natural hustle from them. And, my mom pushed me to go into engineering because she's like, you're really good with computers and you're going to make a lot of money. So, and I like computers and stuff. But after college, it just wasn't it for me. I was like, no, I like music, and I want to go in entertainment. So that was always my first love, was music and entertainment. And then also my mother introduced me to real estate. So so from 18, I always had property, and we did a lot of stuff. We had family property. I learned about rental income, and once I knew that I could support myself with real estate, and real estate would allow me to do my entertainment, it allowed me to do music, it allowed me to do this. I was like, engineering, I'm good. I don't need anything,
I mean, wow, that's amazing, because we hear that a lot now, especially in this day and age, about entrepreneurship, and also instilling that in our children about entrepreneurship, about real estate, about generational wealth. And just as you stated, at 18, that's wonderful to be able to learn about rental income, learn about how real estate can generate money for you. I think that's a lot that was just said, as you're stating that how we can, really instill this in our children and really can be wealthy with just that, with that knowledge.
And it's so important to do it early. You know what I mean? I just remember when I was maybe about 12, my mother had bought each of the children a plot of land. And I remember she bought it for some cheap amount, maybe like $100 or something. I don't know. It was a while ago. So just when I turned 18 and it was time to go to school, and I was able to actually sell that property to pay for college, you know what I mean? I just always was like, oh, I need to get another one of those piece of properties, I didn't really realize what I was just like, that thing, whatever she did, that worked, So, and I do the same thing with my daughter. I purchased them all little pieces of land and stuff, and the value of buying stuff and holding it is, I can't enforce it. I mean, there's all different types of ways you can find cheap property, but just hold onto it for 5 years, 10 years, you just never know. You know what I mean? Who knows? A developer might want to come and say, hey, we want to put the new mall here, your little $100 property, we're going to give you $100,000 for that. And you're like, perfect. So, I mean, those opportunities, we have to start looking into them and taking advantage of them.
I agree. I definitely agree. I think that is some wonderful knowledge you just dropped to everyone, especially to everyone that's watching tonight. Just as she said, just as Isis just said, you all, it's buying a piece of land and holding it for years, because you never know how much income that it could generate later on. So that's wonderful. That is so wonderful. And you just gave me a great segue into talking about the entertainment, because you're absolutely right. You have a wealth of experience in entertainment, especially in hip hop. I want to talk about, how did you have the opportunity to become the personal assistant of the Illmatic Nas? Which to me, he's one of the most dope lyricists to this day that I love. Nas is so, I say that he is such a quiet spirit to me. He rarely says anything. It's like everything he does, he puts into his music. You hardly ever hear him speak a lot, in general, but it's just that you can feel him through the music, especially when he played in Belly. When he played in Belly, I was like, okay, Nas is not really an actor, because you can tell, But at the end of the day, he's just so quiet, so laid back. So how did you land the opportunity to actually be the personal assistant for Nas?
Well, again, my parents are the gift that keeps the giving. So my father had, doing the wellness, they had these gatherings, and they would call them the unbar. So it'd be like the hangout for vegetarians and stuff like that. So since they weren't going to the club and drinking, they would have, their juices and smoothies, but they would have jazz and, all these different entertainers come and have rooftop parties. And actually, it's amazing. Queen Afua actually was start her wellness journey on one of his retreats, and we used to go to the rooftop parties and stuff like that. But Olu Dara, Nas's father, a jazz musician, would play a lot of his events. So they became very close. And my father passed away in 2000. So, just when he passed, it was a very depressing time for me. But I was able to reconnect with a lot of his people, and Nas happened to be, the son of Olu, and we connected that way. So we got together, and we just never parted, really. Like, as his sister. And at first I would work and just do like little things for him. Like I put together a birthday party for him, and I would do a lot of different odd jobs for him because, he's Nas and he couldn't do everything that that we could do, So it just we wind up going to California to film a movie, and he just brought me on the team, and it was set from there. I did a couple of tours with him, and our friendship turned into business. It turned into a great experience and something that was a wonderful part of my life.
Yeah, I just assumed that that being a personal assistant of a megastar such as Nas is probably one of the most coolest jobs in the world because you get to chill, you get to tour, you get to go backstage, you get to see all of the things that most people would dream of.
Yeah,
And yeah,
body, and it was super dope. It was amazing time.
yeah, and I just assume like being a personal assistant, it's like you said, you are mostly like the family because you're like you say his sister, you know everything about him, you're able to like you said meet everybody, kind of rub elbows with some of the most top entertainers in this world. So, that I know that had to be like a wonderful experience for you. And just as well, you're also having the opportunity to be in the presence of royalty, Grand Puba, who love him. Back in the day, early 90s, I remember Grand Puba, vividly. So, yeah, so I know that it's like, how is that like, to be able to have, a hip hop legend, with you a lot?
It's dope. I mean, Poop is amazing. Poop is amazing. We have 9 amazing children. So most of our life is dedicated to the kids. And and he tours. He does a lot of great things. So it's been great. It's different, I guess, because I just know him as my
Yeah.
so you know what I mean, like we do things that people do,
Right. And to us, right. And to us, he's hip hop royalty. Love him, love him, love him. And
Yeah,
just as you said,
super dope man, and he's an excellent father. And
yeah.
we have just our kids are so talented. They're all. It's funny to watch all of them unrolling their own careers, and everybody's going into entertainment. So it's beautiful to watch. Just watch them all on their journeys, and just seeing him supporting them and being a proud papa. It's beautiful. It's beautiful.
Yeah. Yeah. So let's go into that. As you are the momager to 4 of your children that that have gone into the entertainment industry. I know you just stated that it's a blessing to watch them to grow in their journey. So tell us a little bit about that. How is it like being the momager being able to let them express themselves through music, because I know sometimes that's kind of difficult. I have a 17-year-old, so the new music that they listen to now is like I'm side eyeing, like, okay, try to be accepting, try to accept it, and trying to be able to say, okay, this is the new style of hip hop that's coming out now, and I know that what I was raised upon, what I'm used to, is not what I see right now. So it's a little different.
It's hard. It has been nail biting because my oldest son, he's 19, and well, he's gonna be 19 next week. Actually, I'm rushing it. He's his name is Amir, and he's been acting since he was about 3. So I've watched him go through being an actor, and then when he was younger, like he would dance and act and stuff like that. So we did little albums and stuff in here, and I would write his music, and I'm a engineer, so I produce little songs, and we do all different types of things. But there came a point when he turned about 15 or 16, and he's like, "Ma, I want to curse. I want to talk about some other stuff that I don't think you're going to be comfortable with." And I'm like, okay, you don't want to kind of give your child like, yeah, go on. But I was just like, well, do what you got to do. If it's too much, I don't want to hear it. But, I kind of let him get it out. You know what I mean? Because it was a period for maybe about 2 years. All his songs was like, I was like, oh my gosh. And it was, oh God, and people wanted to hear his music, and I'm like, oh my gosh, like really? But I had to let him get it out of his system. So now that he's, when he turned about maybe 18, I noticed, I guess he was cursed out. You know what I mean? He didn't have any more, he didn't have anything else to say. He just like, okay. Then the content started to come out, and I could see the real artistry come out. So I know it's hard, but you got to let your kids kind of go through these phases. I'm just, my thing has always been with my children, I don't want to break their spirit, and I don't want to suppress what's natural in them.
Yes.
My daughter is super curious. We call her the FBI, the CIA, because she's not playing. And as much as I be willing to tell her to shut up, I know these are good characteristics that she will have later on in life. So how do we hone these into, you know what I mean? How it's hard.
It's so hard as a mom, because you, like you said, you do not want to break your child's spirit. Yeah. Especially, from your point of view, you have 4 amazing kids that, are talented. They want to act. And like you said, you have to let them get that out. And, my son plays sports as well. And every now and again, there's a word that goes left. When he's playing, that goes left. I would say that there's a word that goes left. And I had to understand that, in the heat of the moment, it happens. Yeah. So it's one of those things to where you have to allow your children to be children. You have to allow them to express themselves, as long as they're being respectful. Please,
you have to balance, please. And then I know they're children. They want to try everything. They want to be like us. They want to be, but, I don't know. Some people might say I'm a little too lax, but I self-led, what they call self-led weaning. I love that idea, that concept. So, and it's worked. I noticed the more I let them go, they eventually come back. Yes. They know it's rough out there, and okay, Mom, let us go. She knows stuff over there. That lady knows something, so let's go back over there. So, just got to do a lot of praying and, a lot of meditating, and, I try to teach them those same things too, and just help them to get that inner voice. You know what I mean? Listen,
I agree.
Voice, because I'm not always going to be here, So you guys got to really be able to tune in and listen to yourselves. And I noticed that they do. They do.
I think that's important to instill that in them about meditation and being able to listen to your inner voice, because you're absolutely right. I remember years ago, when we were going through the teenage phase, And I mean, he's still a teenager, but the first part of being a teenager, it's rough because you got all these things that's going on. So it was, one of those things I think, as you stated, is to where you have to let them be children, let them understand, what they're going through, and feel their way through. Because again, as one mother told me years ago, they come back eventually. It may seem like they're so far away, but they come back eventually. As long as you instill that greatness in them, or instill those tools that they need to be successful, they will eventually come back. Like you said, that lady knows something over there. Mom knows something. And being able to instill that in them, especially being in the entertainment industry, because there's so many things that goes on in the entertainment industry. And I think being able to be well rounded for one, and also being grounded with those principles, just as you stated, being a mom, being there, supporting them, and things like that. I think that's wonderful. I love that, and I know those that are watching tonight can really benefit from that. On another note, let's talk about the movie 16 Bars of Love. So I know the concept, but I don't want to spoil it for everybody. So tell me a little bit about 16 Bars of Love.
Oh, well, 16 Bars of Love is it's my baby. It's my first feature film that I produced, and I starred in. So it's about two estranged siblings who are separated, and they meet up and they decide that they are going to bring their family back together through the love of music. So that's a
Wow.
quick little synopsis. But it's amazing film because it deals with a lot of family issues. I love that it's family entertainment. You know what I mean? My biggest thing is when I made my production company, Original Way Productions. It was about going back to the original way of thinking, original ways of how we create our family units, how we are together with each other. So I noticed when I'm watching a lot of movies, there's not a lot of stuff I can watch with my kids and without just cringing or having to stop and explain this and that and the third. And I wanted us to have original entertainment for us that we all watch together. I want to be able to watch something with grandma, me, babies, and everybody. We all can sit down and have content.
Right.
So this movie, it touches on a lot of great topics. It touches on blended families, which I really love because that is a big thing that we're dealing with in a lot of families. I come from a blended family. My mother remarried, and I went through that with my beautiful stepfather. I was blessed again with a wonderful stepfather, my stepbrothers and stuff, but there was always issues that boundaries, stuff that you have to deal with as a blended family. So this movie touches on that. It touches on the just family dynamics. It touches on the hip hop industry, music. It touches on a lot of great things. And my son Amir is the star. He's the lead role in this. So it was great to be able to put him in a leading man position and to watch him, rise to that occasion, because that in entertainment world, that's a big role. And it's a lot of responsibility to carry a film. So I wanted to be that for him and give him that so he could, so everybody else
Yeah.
I did that already. I know how to do. I got this. So yeah, so he's the lead, and he did an amazing job. We have an amazing cast. Soraya Madison is a young up and coming young lady. She killed it. She killed it. So and we have Nate Edwards, who plays my husband. He did a wonderful job. We have Leah Sideberry, Andre. I'm gonna mess up his last name. I'm sorry. It's in the credit. All right, I'm
right.
So, but yeah, we had an all-star cast. Junie Smith was our director, producer, writer, and he's been my mentor for my life, actually. Now that I think about it. But he's always guided me in the entertainment field as far as what I needed to be doing when I needed to start into theater, when I needed to work on this, when I needed to work on that. So Junie led this production, and it's gonna be available for everybody to see in September on, all different streaming platforms. So I'm just really excited and hope everybody loves it.
Yeah, I can't wait to see it. I think, like you said, it kind of talks about what we experience right now today. We have a lot more blended families now than we had 10, 20 years ago.
Yeah.
And I think touching on that of how to cope or how to deal with blended families, I think is very important. And I love that, like you said, you want content that's going to be available for the whole family. We don't have a lot of that now on a lot of streaming platforms.
Yeah,
You
we
have
need
to like
more.
pick and
Yeah, we
choose.
need more.
Yes,
You know?
yes, yes, definitely. We need more in the entertainment industry where they're making more movies that are family fun. Not cartoonish, but
Yeah.
family fun, you know?
That, and it's a movie that I enjoy because the adult topics are deep, you know what I mean,
Right.
and the kids topics are deep, and it's stuff that we all can really get into. It's not like it's too kiddie where I'm like, oh gosh, we gotta watch this tonight. But
Right.
no, it's good. It's good for all ages.
Well, I think like something such as that, we should have more films like that to where it's more family films that touch on topics that all of us can really relate to. And I'm excited for you. I'm excited that you have brought something that I think is very important, that everyone really should take the opportunity to view this film because it touches on a very, very, very big topic now, and we do need more family fun oriented stuff. So, and then plus you plus your son as the leading role. So it's awesome that you've laid that blueprint for him, for to being successful like that.
Yeah,
So
and,
I
and,
love it.
and, and it wasn't favoritism either. He's definitely worked hard. He's right now he's on the Wu Tang America Saga show. He plays Ghostface's brother on that
Wow.
show. So he has a recurring role. This is season 2, so that's coming out in September. He's also on City on a Hill.
Hmm.
I think his character just got killed though on that one, so I don't think he'll be on there. But he's put on there for the second season. And he has a couple other. He's done a lot of different roles. I can't even think off the top of my head right now, but he's done a lot of different. He's on Power. He's had his fair share, and
Yeah.
so I just wanted to make sure I gave him his first leading role.
Yes, yes. I think that's important. That's very important in the fact that he's had his hands in so many different popular shows right now,
Yeah,
especially with
we need to
Power.
do that more with our kids. We have to set our kids up for success. You know what I mean? What we can do it. If your baby wants to be a music, don't tell that baby he can't rap, he can't do nothing. Help him make his first album or his first record. Put it out
That's
there.
right.
You never know, especially when we have platforms like TikTok and all these different things. Who knows? Your child might have that new next dance, or if they want to do whatever it is, we have to start supporting our kids and pushing them in that direction, because you might not want your child to go in music or entertainment, but that might not be the end result. That might be something that spins off to something else. You know what I mean? They might do that. They might get messed up and lose a whole bunch of money and say, hey, I want to become a lawyer in this field, or I want to research the legal aspects of this, or I want to research that. So you never know what that natural instinct that they have in there. And that's a spark from somewhere that might take them to a whole nother direction. So I think it's just so important to set them up right. You know what I mean?
That's right.
Right. Especially now, if you have a 17, 18-year-old, get your child's credit together now so that they can go and do some amazing things. You never know. That child might be the one to help you get your stuff together.
Yes.
You know what I mean? You can put a credit card in his name and put it up under the mattress, and it'll be there for 2 years. And you say, look around and say, oh, he got a 850 credit score.
Mm-hmm.
Let's go get this house. So you know what I mean? We got to start thinking about long term and putting our kids in places of power, and you know what I mean? And because these are more hands that can help. This is how we're gonna build
The generational wealth. Exactly.
It's think about how many people it took to make you on a family tree. You know what I mean?
Mm-hmm.
So,
Yeah, I definitely agree. I think that is some jewels again that you dropped, setting our children up for success as you stated before, providing them the blueprint to be successful, the generational wealth, just as you're talking about land, just as you're just talking about their credit, setting the credit up to where, sitting that, having the credit score to where they're able to buy what they want. They're able to another, area where there's help that's there. So I definitely agree. I definitely agree that we need to definitely set our children up to be successful in life. I definitely agree with that. Yeah. So before I let you go tonight, so tell us, what can we expect from ISIS going out of 2021 into 2022?
Well, you know what? I've done a lot of wonderful, great things, and I love every path. But I'm actually this last year during the pandemic, I actually got a chance to fulfill one of my passion projects, which is, forever I've always been a naturalist, and I've always made my own oils and things like that. So I was able to launch my first skincare brand, which is Original Goddess. I have some products here, and I want you to send me your information because I want to send you a little care package.
Yes.
Here is the oil, and this is a protection spray. Now, I was petrified about getting like stretch marks and, just not doing well with my first pregnancy. So I would do a lot of research to find out, how does my skin work? Like, how can I prevent this? How can I do this the right way? So I learned that through moisturizing and nourishing our body the whole way, that your skin can be elastic. It can grow,
Mm.
grow, and grow. But the more you nurture it, it can go back the same way it came. You know what I mean? So if as long as it stays fed and nurtured, it has this amazing memory power. So these oils contain vitamin A, vitamin E. It has all types of great minerals, nutrients. Avocado oil, it has a lot of great properties in it. It's a healing oil.
Mm.
And I also believe in setting intentions with the oil. So I set intentions for abundance and for growth, for balance with the oils as well. So not only if you already have stretch marks and you're like, okay, it's over, because I know at one point I was using this for my pregnancies, but about to my third pregnancy, I was like, I'm good, I'm whatever. And I got a couple stretch marks. I was like, damn. And I knew I needed to do it, but I just was like, I don't care anymore. So that's when I got back on it. Like, no, I know my body has the property that it can heal itself and that it can regenerate itself. And my body is amazing. This
Mm-hmm.
God-given creation has so much potential. It has it's so much we don't even know as much of the stuff that we're able to do. But we're learning.
Right.
So the oil, as long as you're in a regimen with doing the dry skin brushing and your baths and taking care of the right things, you really don't even need to have vitamins or anything. It's packed with nutrients.
Mm.
It can help your body regenerate. I've seen it happen. I had 3 stretch marks, which I'm okay. I'm not complaining. Believe me, I'm not. I had 3, and I got rid of them. And I've also seen other people have amazing results with it. But we just have to start getting the information that we need, and we can manifest so much. And you can start with yourself. If you don't
Right.
like something, change it. You know what I mean? For years I dealt with, my feet were very dry because I always wear flip flops, and I'm a hippie child. I like to walk outside without shoes on and stuff like that. But, once I decided, hey, I don't want that anymore, and I focused in on that, I have smooth baby feet now. You know what I mean? So whatever you don't like
Amazing.
about yourself, you change it.
That's
Change
right.
it. And it doesn't have to be cosmetic surgery. You can do it yourself. You have the God-given focus. And if we sit down for a second, and I know we all love social media and internet and everything, but sit down for a second, put that away, and really get into yourself and how to change those things about yourself, You can change your breathing. You can slow your heart rate down. You can change your blood pressure. You can change your mind. You can change all these things about yourself if you really take a second and remove the distractions and get into yourself. You can do it. So,
Yeah, I love it. I love it. Original Goddess, everybody.
oh my
The
God.
oils, yes, yes. And the care package again, like you said about stretch marks. A lot of women go through that. A lot of blemishes that that we incur over time. So that is
Better. Nobody
wonderful.
told us. I know my mother didn't tell me. Nobody really mentions these things until after the fact, and they're like, "Oh, you did that. You should have did." And you're like, "Well, why you didn't tell me when I was pregnant that I needed to be doing?" Because when you're pregnant, you don't see it sometimes, and then after you're pregnant, you're like, "Oh, wait a minute now." But if we get in the regimen, and that's where the lifestyle comes in. It's about making those lifestyle choices and then really think about what it is that you want. And if that's what you want, go after it. I'm sorry. I know discipline is not fun, but it can be.
Yes, it
Make
can.
discipline fun. I know for me, I make it very fun to be disciplined because I reward myself. I don't let it all go anymore. I just reward myself with the little things. But the discipline is the fun part for me. So, you know.
I think that's wonderful. I think that's wonderful. Now, where can they purchase the Original Goddess? Is it on your website as well?
Yes, you can go to my website. My website, I can't talk. My website is originalgoddess.co. And you can also purchase it on my Facebook at Isis Harris or my IG, which is Isis_Asia, AJA. Or you could just search for Original Goddess. You should find it. And yeah, so you can buy the oil. We have this in different sizes. And we also have the Protect Me spray. Now, this Protect Me spray is amazing as well because this, for me, I use it as an energy cleaner. So like sometimes you might go in a room and just things feel off, so I'll just hit the spray up right quick. But it also freshens you up. So if you got to go somewhere, you rusty, you can spray. It works as a natural body deodorant. It has acidified spirits and vinegar and essential oils. So it's all natural. It's vegan. But you can spray it if you want to. It kills COVID. It kills all viruses and bacteria. So you can spray it if you're on the bus, the train, or wherever. You want to spray it on your seat. You want to clean your hands. It's hand sanitizer. So it's just I call it Protect Me. And we take it everywhere we go. The kids got theirs. And we change the energy field, clean it out, make it right for yourself. Protect Me. It's amazing for that. So,
all right, everybody. So you need the two things: the Original Goddess oil and also the Protect Me spray. It's on her website. Also, it's on her IG and also Facebook. I think we're on Facebook Live now as well. So make sure you guys follow her.
Great products up there too. If you want to know about more skin brushing techniques and stuff, I'm actually going to be posting some videos this week about skin brushing and getting into that because that's a whole nother rabbit hole to go down. And we have some other great products coming to home cleaning products and just all around stuff,
That's awesome. Well, Isis, thank you so much for being on the show tonight with me and having a wonderful conversation about hip hop, about kids, about vegan life. So I love it. Love the conversation with you. You have such a beautiful spirit. I love the conversation tonight. Thank you so much for joining me tonight.
Yes, and please make sure you send me your stuff.
I will. Definitely will. I can't wait to get my oils and my Protect Me spray.
Yes. And you can spray it on the haters.
Yes. And shouts out to Press Magazine for sponsoring Industry Conversations 101. Shouts out to Ben. Thank you so much. Yes. Love Ben. Thank you guys. Yeah. Thank you guys so much for tuning in tonight. And Isis, again, thank you so much for coming on the show. This has been another edition of Industry Conversations 101. Good night, everybody.
Good night.